Hey guys, Dr. Karen Can here, and another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. And it's such a nice day today, I decided to do my video outside. And of course, I get to use my selfie stick. Ha ha ha. So sometimes there's a little bit of a blur, and that's because at some point I cracked my phone and the line went right through my camera. So when I do selfies, there's a little bit of blurriness in there. So please forgive me for that. Now I've had some people ask me how come my videos sometimes there's like a pause or a change in voice or something like that. No, it is not because I'm possessed. It is because my computer at home is pretty old. It's an XP. Yes, remember those? Windows XP? It's an XP. I've got an old camera, and from time to time just glitches in the internet. We're out in the boondocks here, so there will be glitches, although I did check to make sure there was not some sort of entity or monkey demon interference in my last video, and there was not. Now sometimes what happens, and that was what happened last time, was that sometimes I get so excited about what I'm talking about is that my spiritual energy just comes blasting out of me, and it can affect the electronics. I try to put a little bubble around them so I don't fry my electronics, and it's been pretty good, but occasionally I get overly excited and that can happen. So apologize about that. I hope it didn't freak out any of you when those little glitches happen. But on to this week's topic. We're still releasing a lot of implants that most of them are pretty old, and now we're releasing them from other lifetimes as well. So because the veil is so thin between the different lives, the borders between past, present, and future are very thin, you may be experiencing some bodily symptoms related to implants or devices, alien or entity sourced from other lives. So if you have done your job in clearing your implants from this life, you may find a few stragglers. Now, let me show you how to do that. So you have already been attuned to the Tolpacan healing energy. So you already have the power or the juice, so to speak, to do the clearing yourself. The tricky part is that in order for you to know whether it worked, you need to be able to self-muscle test. So I have a class on that on my website, KarenCan.com. If you're not already on my mailing list, when you first put in your name and email address, you'll get access to the first 6 chapters of my best-selling book, Guide to Healing Chronic Pain, and access to 5 of my Fast Track Your Healing classes. And I believe class 2 is the one on muscle testing. So you definitely want to check that out. And there's a lot of practice that's required in order for you to muscle test accurately. And occasionally you might have, if you're not having a great time muscle testing and you've done a lot of practice, it could very well be there is some interference with your being able to do it accurately. And that's where you need another healer, like someone like myself, to be able to assess why you're not accurate. And sometimes it's entity interference, other times there's other reasons, so we can clear those for you. So that being said, what you want to do is, if you have a pain, so that is one of the big symptoms, is if you have some sort of strange pain, inflammation that seems to pop out of the blue, or reactivation of an old pain suddenly this past week, that is usually a sign that there may be a hidden implant somewhere that you want to release, heal. And so what you want to do is, if you muscle test and you ask, do I have any implants or hidden devices, and you get a no, I want you to go to the area of discomfort, say it's your neck, and ask specifically about that. So what you would say in muscle testing is, do I have any implants or hidden implants located in the neck area? Sometimes when you have gotten a no initially, when you say, do I have any implants or devices, then you ask about the neck specifically, and then you get a yes, you get a hidden implant in the neck. So ask about those areas. Now, I do find it helpful to touch the area and then muscle test. Now, I can muscle test with one hand. If you do the sway test, you can also, touch the area as well, but you don't have to. I just do that to be more specific. Like if I have, last night, I literally went to bed with a migraine and it was getting worse while I slept. So I woke up several times, and finally I decided, I'm just going to keep doing a big search for implants to figure out, because this is not going away. So normally when I get a migraine, which isn't that often, Mother Earth's in trouble. And in this case, yes, she was. There was some healing to be done, so I did that, but still the migraine was still there in very specific areas of my head. So I basically, you know, put my finger to my, you know, this part of my brain and said, okay, is there a hidden implant or device located in this area? And then I would get a yes, whereas before I got a no when I just asked generally. So then I just did the usual Topocan healing command. So you intend to use the Topocan healing energies from the archangels that you've already been attuned to, and you just say it is now commanded that this implant and all the implant residues associated with it be completely cleared, removed, dissolved, uncreated, whatever words you want to use, and the holes fill the highest vibrations of love and light. Thank you. And then you can go ahead and retest. Do I still have an implant located here? If you get a no, one of the things you can actually do is you can do a double check. So when you do a double check, it's kind of like double negatives. It's a little confusing at first to use the languaging, but you can check. Say I get a no, there's no implant left here, then I'll say, is it really true I'm free of implants in this location? And get a yes or no, and then I'll say the opposite just to see if it's consistent. Is it really true there still is an implant left here or implant residue left here? You know, so you should get consistent answers. If it makes sense in all ways, then it's probably clear, at least for the time being, that layer of implants is gone. So go ahead and check every single place where you have pain. You can point to it and check if you have any hidden implants, and remember to intend to release the implant residues. It seems to be there's some sort of residue left over when the implants are released, so you want to release that too. And sometimes that actually causes symptoms, not the implants but the residue left over. So do a search for that. And I think you know, at least lately, it's been important to also ask how many consciousnesses are controlling or influencing me in a negative way. So then you get a number, you know, usually it's less than 8. I haven't had anybody more than 8. When you have removed the implants and the residues, then you're less likely to have these other consciousnesses invade you. There can be other risk factors as well, but that is the most common. So definitely when you have pain, especially if pain's cropped up out of nowhere, you'll want to check in for those implants because we're still releasing those. And again, past, present, future. It may not be in this lifetime, so you can ask, is it in this lifetime? And you might get a no, but you might still get a symptom. Okay, so, you know, that's just the way it is. Now, we just went through another Ascension upgrade on Saturday between, I think it was 11 and 12 in the morning. And when that happens, those of us that are sensitive and empathic will sometimes start feeling other people's stuff suddenly, and we'll have to clear that. So, you know, just check in and just make sure that you're you and that you're not feeling other people's stuff, and because that might not be your job. Speaking of job, it's been really interesting this week. I've met a couple of patients whose higher selves are pretty powerful beings. Jesus, archangels, Michael, Gabriel. Fascinating, that I have now 2 patients who during their sleep, remember last week and the week before we were talking about the sleep realm, the astral realms, there is normally when you are sleeping, my understanding is that you are not supposed to be in the lower realm. You are not supposed to be where all the, you know, dark energies are. But I have met 2 patients where very clearly their higher self says, yeah, I'm supposed to be there at night. And I thought, well, what the heck for? You know, geez, it's like a battleground in there. So they're 2 patients that are going into the lower realm on purpose for healing. So when we asked what and who they were healing, they were not actually healing the lower realm souls. They were actually healing the human souls. They were rescuing human souls from the lower realm to bring their souls back. So in shamanic terms, this would be called a soul retrieval. I don't know too much about shamanic medicine. I'm not a shaman, but my understanding is very similar to that idea. So they're actually rescuing human souls at night, and I think that's really fascinating. So what we did was we didn't take them out of their soul's mission and their job. what we did was we downloaded positive frequencies to them that would support them in their mission while they were sleeping, and to make sure that if they are, for example, an angel, an earth angel, that they get a recharge, and make sure that they get to go to epsilon brainwave state while they are sleeping, so they will go to earth angel spa. You know, some people are just staying there 11%, 10% of the time, but they really need on average about at least 30% of the time in sleep to rejuvenate. So we want to make sure that these folks are able to rejuvenate and able to get to epsilon. The other interesting news is that we found a few people, especially after the last ascension, that are now accessing really higher brainwave states than just the highest frequency or the lowest frequency. So now we've got higher than gamma, people going to higher than gamma. I call it hyper gamma for lack of a better term. So this is a super, super high frequency that advanced meditators can get to in their waking state, and they seem to be communicating to a singular consciousness, and sometimes speaking to a very high vibrational being in their sleep, sometimes what we would call extraterrestrials. And then there are people that go into a super, super low, literally like, if you were during the daytime hours doing that, you'd be definitely out of body. It's lower than epsilon brainwave state. So remember, that's really slow, even slower than deltas. Epsilon, Dr. Jeffrey Thompson was the one that discovered it, but there is supposedly a state even lower than that, and I'm just calling it lambda because I only know so many Latin words, and I thought lambda sounded cool, so we're calling it lambda. So slower brainwave state, and this is really quite interesting. So I'm not really, I haven't done enough of these to know for sure what everybody's doing in the lambda state, but again, it's usually these high vibrational beings in human form that are needing to go there to communicate with someone. And the really cool thing too is when we've been healing astral shields, again, this is my description of it for lack of a better term because I haven't heard of it anywhere else, but when you're in your sleep body, your astral body, you have some sort of shield as well, or at least it seems to be. And when this shield is not intact, then it's possible that there can be stuff, energetic stuff, stuck to your astral body that is not appropriate. So on a few people this past week, their astral shield could not be closed to 100% until they were delivered some knowledge. And the knowledge seems to be, so you can ask if you do advanced muscle testing, and if you're a healer, you can ask what kind of knowledge is needed to close off my astral shield or to make it fully intact and healthy. And the knowledge seems to range from knowledge about God, knowledge about love, knowledge about power, or knowledge about self. And for the self, it could be self-love, it could be acknowledging your own power, and then sometimes there are imbalances there that prevent you from acknowledging or accepting your full power. Also, this is new, that several people have required the power of frequencies from the Holy Spirit, and I can't even, I mean, I'm a Catholic, but by training, but I can't even tell you exactly what that is, except that's what I'm told. I just work here, as Dr. Bradley Nelson would say. So the Holy Spirit, power of Jesus, power of Archangel Michael, and this is different from the Toltecan healing powers, and they've needed to either download those or acknowledge their own power in order to get that astral shield completely nice and happy. So for people with sleep issues, it may require a couple of rounds of Toltecan healing to figure out all the things that are going on in the sleep realm. And as we go through each ascension, there are new challenges. And people get really frustrated with that. Why are there new things? I liken it, remember that as you ascend and you get a higher vibration, everything that does not match that higher vibration now comes to the surface to be released. So sometimes so-called bad things or crazy things or uncomfortable things happen now because you're at that higher vibration. So it's ready, you're ready to let go and ready to change and transform those non-beneficial energies into beneficial energies. So stay tuned. We got lots of really cool radio shows coming up for you, and you can make sure you're on my mailing list at KarenCan.com to get access to all those. We also post those on my blog as well. And so if you are part of the From Heartache to Joy on their mailing list, and part of their Backstage Pass, lucky you, I will be doing a special primer on clearing entities, and that is going to be on Thursday, July 14th, I think it is. It's a Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. So in order for you to access that, you will have to be part of From Heartache to Joy and ask the support to put you in the Backstage Pass, folks. And so that is going to be a freebie class for the folks that are on From Heartache to Joy. So I'm excited about that, and I'll be, I mean, there's just so many wonderful things to teach. I could probably inundate you with a ton of things, but that's the highlights for this next week. I hope you have a fabulous week. Take care of yourself. Remember to drink lots of water and, sleep as much as you can. You may need a little bit more sleep lately with all the healing going on. Be nice to yourself, just realizing things are just healing. Things come up. It's not a big deal. See if you can perceive it in a positive way. Perceive it as, oh my gosh, look what's ready to release, as opposed to, oh no, something bad's happened again. It'll really help you a lot to change your perceptions on this. All right, I love you all. Take care and have a wonderful week. Bye for now.